called me a fool, a disgrace. Should have kept your dog locked up, they sneered, their eyes cold like shards of broken glass. But it wasn't my dog's fault. It was the careless hands next door, the neighbor who left their gate unlatched, the one who never cared enough to watch where their anger unleashed. That day when I found Max, my gentle golden retriever, lying hurt and trembling on our lawn, everything shattered. Worse still, my children saw it all. Their innocent eyes wide with horror, their small hands clutching each other, trembling from a trauma no child should bear. I remember the gut-wrenching moment when I had to tell them Max wasn't coming back. Their sobs echoed through the house, a sound that would haunt me for years. And the whispers in the neighborhood, they were louder than their cries. She's weak, they said. She can't protect her own family. I felt humiliated, broken, cast aside by the very community I had trusted. I could have given up. I should have. But something inside me snapped, not in surrender, but in fierce resolve. I left that neighborhood, that whispered cruelty behind, but I carried the pain with me like a burning coal in my chest. I vowed that no other family would endure what mine had suffered. Years passed. I studied everything: veterinary care, child psychology, community organizing. I learned how negligence could spiral into tragedy, how silence fed ignorance. I poured every ounce of my grief into action. I returned, not as the broken woman they'd dismissed, but as a force they couldn't ignore. I launched a community initiative, Safe Paws, Safe Hearts, a project teaching responsible pet ownership and trauma awareness. We held workshops in the park, invited vets and counselors, created a network where neighbors looked out for each other's pets and children. Slowly, the neighborhood changed. Walls of indifference crumbled. Bonds formed where suspicion once lived. And then came the day I faced them, the very neighbors whose negligence had broken us. I stood in the same park where Max had once played, now filled with laughter and learning. Their eyes met mine, some filled with guilt, others with disbelief. I didn't shout or accuse. Instead, I shared our story, the heartbreak, the healing, the hope. I spoke of my children's courage, their resilience, and the community we had built from ashes. Their silence was my vindication. I realize revenge isn't in breaking others. It's in rebuilding yourself, stronger and brighter. Max's memory lives on in every child who learns to love, and every pet kept safe by hands that care. My family's trauma forged a legacy of resilience that no pain could ever dim. I returned home, not to a place, but to a promise kept, that from the deepest wounds we can rise, unshattered, unstoppable, and fearfully alive.